Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now as we welcome you back to the Steve Malzberg Show. Can never forget to do that. Dr. Jason Johnson, politics editor for The Source magazine, chief political correspondent for Politic365.com. Welcome back, sir. How are you?
Steve, good to speak to you. You can't see me today, but I hope my voice is just as good.
Your voice is perfect, as always, sir. No problem with that. All right, so let's first talk about this firing by the Atlanta radio station, 790, The Zone's Mayhem in the AM show. Steak Shapiro, Nick Cellini, and Chris Domino fired because they made fun. They mocked Steve Gleason, who has ALS. He's a former New Orleans Saints player. And they would talk about the fact that Peter King let Steve Gleason write his column called Monday Morning Quarterback. And the way he did it, because he can't move his hands, is with a thing on his by moving his eyes. Now, I know someone. I just had the pleasure of meeting a young man in a wheelchair who also can't move, and he does it. He talks. It makes the machine talk with his head. He picks words out by moving his head. But anyway, and so they mocked him. Here's a little taste of what happened. They made believe he was calling in. Here's cut number 18.
Joining us right now, Steve Gleason on Sports Radio 790, The Zone. Steve, congratulations on the Peter King piece.
Hello, Steve. How's Nola?
Nola's great. We had a great Father's Day yesterday. I appreciate you asking. Are you listening in New Orleans?
I am. Yeah. Chris, how was the Jersey Shore?
I just don't know if I want to play.
I wish I could play.
Yeah, you cannot play anymore, right?
No. Knock, knock.
No, Steve. We do knock-knocks on Thursdays. We don't do it on Mondays, and we just started doing that again. We do it on Thursdays.
I may not be here on Thursday.
All right. So you get the picture. Then there was another little segment after that. To me, it goes without saying, poor taste, over a line, over the line, whatever you want to call it. Management needed to express displeasure and take a stand, and at first they suspended them. They all apologized, and after the suspension or before the suspension, I don't know. But then subsequently later in the day yesterday, they were fired. To me, I mean, I'm not that familiar with that show. I'm not familiar with that show at all, but it sounds like kind of a zoo kind of thing, mayhem in the AM. And they were doing what they're paid to do. They were creating mayhem. And a suspension, okay. Firing them, I don't know. I disagree. What do you say?
My feeling was this. We have the freedom of speech, but we don't have the freedom to speak wherever we want to. Your boss has the right on an entertainment show to say, hey, look, I don't like that you said this. But there's two things that go with it. Number one, I think it's also because, not to get too much into the weeds of football, but they're in the NFC South. They're in Atlanta. And so they would, need to interview people who might be on the Saints and the Falcons. And so they're also kind of closer to the situation. I think it's a shame. I mean, and I have to admit, just 2 days ago, I was watching a rerun of Family Guy where they make fun of Stephen Hawking doing the exact same trick. I laugh at that. So, I can't say that I'm somehow morally above the joke that they were pulling, even if I thought it was inappropriate in those circumstances. But, hey, the boss has the final say. I mean,
without a doubt, Jason. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. The boss's view is the right view because he's the boss, and he'll make a decision based on that view. And the perception is everything in that case. But it sounds like you might be agreeing with me a little bit that if you were the boss, you might not have fired them.
Oh, no. I mean, look, we're not in the 90s anymore, right? We're not in sort of the shock jock Howard Stern radio era. But I remember, 10, 12 years ago, you had the radio DJs up in New York who made fun of when the singer Aaliyah, when her plane crashed. They only got suspended for a couple of weeks, and they ended up going to another rival radio station. So I would not have fired them. I think I would have suspended them for a month, but I would not have fired them. But then again, I don't know what kind of internal financial or political pressures the owner may have been under.
Right, right. No, I agreed. We don't know. You know, I'm on a great radio station in Atlanta, and I hope some of the folks call in and express their opinion on this. But no, I would not fire them, again, based on what I know, which is nothing about the internal workings of that station, but based on, you know, if we're looking at this like a, you know, as an IMUS thing or other hosts who have been fired in the past or suspended in the past, I would not have fired them. Now, so we agree. So let's move on and see if we agree on this. And you know, I don't have strong feelings about this. I'm just a little shocked, and I guess I'm a little. I know that if I don't even know who. I mean, I can't even think of a conservative athlete. But maybe all right. Maybe if Tim Tebow, and granted he's a male, but if Tim Tebow had said what Serena Williams has said, and then offered the kind of apology that she has offered. I think the media would be destroying Tim Tebow as if they never did that. Serena Williams, in a Rolling Stone magazine interview, which surfaced yesterday, said that the Steubenville rape case's 16-year-old victim, and we all remember that horrific case not that long ago, quote, shouldn't have put herself in that position, end quote. And then she apologized. But it involves her calling. She when she apologized, she said, "Oh, well, I apologize for what I supposedly said." Blah blah blah. It wasn't a true, sincere apology. So, your take on it? I'm a little shocked that she would say that. But then again, I'm also saying, I mean, you never blame the rape victim. That's the whole thing. I mean, and she was the rape victim apparently was drugged. Or drunk beyond belief, and so I don't know how she could be blaming this girl at all.
You know what? The unfortunate thing about this, and I can tell you, like I said, you know, Hiram College where I teach, I actually had some students in my class who were from Steubenville. So when this came out, you know, I had, you know, big in sort of in-classroom discussion. Unfortunately, and I think this is disturbing, I don't care if you're right or left, there are a lot of people who have this attitude of, yes, rape is terrible, but you shouldn't put yourself in the position to get raped, as if that's something you can anticipate. You know, as if, you know, now, you know, yes, she makes the point, 16-year-old, you know, shouldn't be drunk. Okay, all of those kids, you know, shouldn't have been drinking. But I think that what she said reflects that sort of overall ignorance that a lot of people have about sexual assault, that they have to find some way for the woman's behavior to be at fault. Oh, she didn't fight hard enough, or she should have been careful with who she was out with, instead of saying, look, this girl got taken advantage of by two thugs. And that's all there is to it. You know, there's no other question. And it was very stupid for Serena to say that. And she is getting pilloried right now. I mean, online on Twitter, people are going in on her, especially because her apology was so wretched.
Right, yeah, her apology, again, I apologize for what I supposedly said. Let's move on to a third one, and I know we're going to disagree on this one. The Republicans in the House yesterday passed a bill. They had some Democratic votes as well, banning abortion after 20 weeks. And the left is just going nuts. You would have thought, I don't know what. But just here's one example. Martin Bashir, this is cut number, I think I said 12. Here's cut number 12 on MSNBC.
Republicans say the science is with them, but the current research that I've read, and to be fair, nothing is entirely conclusive.
Right.
It says that fetuses may feel pain somewhere around the 29th week, not the 20th, and certainly not the 15th, which is what you just heard.
Yeah.
This party is fabricating science in order to make an argument?
And it doesn't make any sense. It's so disconnected from the political reality that Republicans face. Republicans face a tremendous deficit with women voters. And so they keep putting on this spectacle over and over and over again.
We're watching it now, live.
Right, of challenging Roe versus Wade. They're obsessed with it. They are obsessed with this idea of making women. This isn't pro-life. This is forced birth.
Forced birth. Now, there was another a commentator on the Melissa Harris Perry show on MSNBC, an African-American woman whose name, if I could get back to Real Clear Politics here, I could find you her name, who actually put forth a theory that whites want to limit abortion so that more white babies will be born and it'll increase the white race. That's how insane the left's argument is here. To me, Joy Reid, who was also on there with Martin Bashir, couldn't be more wrong herself. Because poll after poll after poll shows that people want babies in late terms protected. They don't want late-term abortion. They don't want babies born alive killed like Gosnell and other doctors have done. They don't want what Obama voted against. They do want what Obama voted against, which is keeping babies born alive of a botched abortion, giving them the same rights as any other baby. So the Republicans, at least on the congressional level, understand that they're in the mainstream on this, and on the presidential level, they don't fight it. They concede a so-called war on women. They run away from it when they could resonate by pointing out what the difference is between them and the Democrats. Your opinion?
I think this is an absolute waste of time, and it's a PR nightmare. Congress has an approval rating of like 11%. We can't seem to get a budget done. We have multiple issues. We have Boehner coming out saying, I'm not particularly happy with what's being worked on right now with immigration, and they're spending time doing symbolic votes on abortion. It does not matter, and this is what's significant about this. It doesn't matter where the majority of public feels necessarily about late-term abortions. It's what priority we put it at. Most Americans, if you ask them, Americans like abortion being legal, but most people wouldn't want to have one. That's just the truth. They like it as an option in the abstract, but most people say, hey, I wouldn't necessarily want to have one. I wouldn't want my daughter to have one. I wouldn't want da-da-da-da-da. But it's not a priority. And I think the Republican Party is making a huge mistake by making this appear to be a priority when there are so many other things going on in the country.
Well, what would you like them to pass? In other words, so the vote, which took, I don't know, an hour, that's a huge mistake. Because why? Because, I don't even understand the line of thinking, and I love all the free advice to the Republicans, but they've already passed budgets. They've already passed jobs bills. They've already passed so many bills that the Senate will never touch.
For the next 48 hours, they're giving the media cycle an opportunity to bash them and reinforce a narrative that they should be wanting to avoid. That's the problem.
Why? Why should they be wanting to avoid it when a majority of Americans agree with what's in that bill?
Because it's not a priority. Because it is not.
It's not. Okay, well then how's this? The Pew Research Center did a exit polls on Hispanics, and immigration reform was number 4 on the priority list. So why should we waste time with immigration? Not a priority.
You're comparing apples and oranges.
No, I'm not.
If you're talking about Hispanics, you're talking about women. If you ask women voters, the vast majority of women's voters, this is not number 1 on their list. Most people want something done about the economy. Most people
wait, but you're presenting a false choice, Doc. It's not the economy or abortion. I said that took an hour. They've passed jobs bills. The Senate won't touch them. They've passed a budget. The Senate won't touch it.
And all they're doing is reinforcing a narrative that they tried to spend most of last summer avoiding. Now, look, at the end of the day, if it took an hour, it doesn't matter if it gives 48 hours of opportunity for the Democrats to slam them. And the Republicans can sit and scream and whine and pout all they want that they're being unfairly characterized. But when you waste time putting together policies and votes that are going to get you hammered on the head because most people aren't screaming about it,
But you're wrong. The most people you're talking about are the Martin Bashirs, the Rachel Maddows, the leftist media. The public, including women, care about right to life. They care about unborn babies. They care about babies feeling pain. You say it's not a priority. It is a priority to the base of the Republicans. Hey, Doc, let me finish here. Doc, you made your point. But you're wrong, because this is a priority to the very basic. Look, nationally, the Republican Party is doing tremendously well. And why? Because they run on things like this. They avoided it, as you alluded to, unsuccessfully. They avoided it successfully, but ran unsuccessfully, in part because they avoided it.
They lost an election, and Republicans lost women, especially women under 30, by over 15% of the vote.
But you say they stayed away from abortion. They stayed away from all that, you said.
What I'm saying is you're wasting your time arguing about something that's not a priority to the majority of voters. That's the issue. And if they want to say...
Well, neither is immigration reform. Any issue is not a priority to a majority of voters.
Immigration reform is actually something that is a priority, is a top work. Abortion rights is not something. There's not one woman in America who wasn't already voting Republican who will be attracted to the party because of the passage of this bill.
That's not why they did it. They did it because they have convictions and they want to keep little babies in the fetus from being killed.
But this is same party where Lindsey Graham just said 2 days ago the only reason they're doing immigration reform is because they want to win Hispanic voters. So
well, they're not going to win Hispanic voters. They're fools if they think that. But the doctor.
We say it's all about conviction when really it's about voting and strategy.
Doctor, how many bills do you think are passed in the House of Representatives every year, no matter who's in charge? You think every one is a priority to voters?
I'm saying that if you're going to pass a bill that is mostly symbolic, and it is mostly symbolic since it has no chance of ever becoming law.
No, don't say ever. Don't say ever. You change the Senate and you get a new president. Don't say ever.
Again, so it's not going to get passed anytime in the next 3.5 years. When you want to do a symbolic vote, because it's kind of like all the different times the Republican Party has voted in the House to overturn the Affordable Care Act. Okay, you don't like it. You want to get rid of it. You want to get rid of parts of it. That's perfectly fine. But you know it's not going to get through the Senate.
So what? So are you suggesting the party in power in the House should never pass legislation because they know it can't get through the Senate because the other party's in charge?
What I'm saying is if you're going to pass symbolic legislation, you better make sure it's the kind of legislation that actually is going to help you in your public perception. And passing laws where you say we're trying to limit people's ability to get certain kinds of abortions or certain kinds of time doesn't help you strategically.
Well, see, okay, here's where you and I disagree, and we'll agree to disagree on that note at the end. It absolutely helps them because the majority of Americans abhor late-term abortions. They abhor them, and it absolutely helps them with the majority of Americans. It just doesn't help them with the media. The media are the radical leftists who are out of touch, but the public is in touch with the Republicans.
This is why they lost last year with women, and this is why the Republicans will continue to lose with women. Because if this is not radically different than a lot of the policies that were being espoused by Republicans during the primary last year.
I'll tell you what, it beats the heck out of a policy of abortion on demand, killing a baby after it's born alive. America would be outraged if the Republicans would bring that up and let the people know that's what the Democrats favor. Instead, on a national level, they make the mistake of being silent. That's why they do so well on a local level, because they do talk about these issues. But anyway, we'll agree to disagree.